Yo, it's your boy Logos, and today I want to react to Auburn Preach, do a follow-up video on the guy from whatever podcast who said that women should endure being abused by men, whether it's physically, verbally, mentally. In my opinion, any abuse from any party or any other party is wrong. And if you have children, or if that's your wife and you have children together, that's even worse times 10 because those kids are getting traumatized by the stuff they see. They're watching that behavior is going to leave scars and memories. And oftentimes they may try to repeat that behavior because they don't understand why they were doing it. They just see their mom and dad, who's supposed to love each other, treat each other like that. And I don't care that you're married or you trying to stick together for the sake of the family and statistics about single parent homes. That goes out the window in my opinion once you have abusive situations. That stuff is much more traumatic on the child compared to being raised by a single mother and after seeing his mom get beat up every single damn day. I think it's sad. You're a grown man, you're an alpha male, quote unquote, you're all these things, but you can't control your emotions. You're what, 30 something years old, late 20 something years old. I really don't care. You should be beating on your wife, your girlfriend, anybody. Same thing for a woman onto a man. I'm not a fan of that stuff. So this idea of enduring it for the sake of the family is absolute bullshit to me. If you really care about your family and your children, you wouldn't be doing this stuff to your wife. You wouldn't be doing this stuff to the mother of your children. Your daughter that you say you care about, I don't know if he has children, but I'm saying any person doing this stuff. They say they care about their children, their sons, their daughters, and oftentimes they'll say, if I catch a guy doing this to my daughter, I'll beat his ass, I'll kill him. But then they'll do the same thing to the kid's mom. I don't get it. What planet are they on? It's really insanity to me. And then they ran on times 10 when the guy said, if the wife cheats on the husband, he got to leave. He should leave. But if a woman's getting beat on, she has to endure. Like it's a workout. Like it's making her stronger or something. Like it's making her much a whole human being. It's insanity. It's really crazy. I don't get it, and I don't support that shit. But I'm curious to see what Auburn Preach got to say because maybe they got some, I don't know, follow up on the guy. Let's see.
So you remember the Endure guy?
Yes.
If there's someone that's very, very young and goes into a marriage and has kids when they're like 18, 19, 20, a year into the relationship, it gets really, really abusive. Even though it might be rare from what you guys think,
it is.
If it would happen, what would you recommend for those people? Would they divorce or do you want them to keep going in the relationship?
Keep going.
You can't divorce, and that's not a real thing.
Even though it might be like physically abusive?
You gotta endure. People are too.
You want to stick into the relationship?
People are just.
I mean, look,
people
I'm gonna be
nowadays
honest.
are just.
For anyone that might be in that
Crazy.
situation, what would you recommend?
Okay,
Endure.
I'll tell
Would
you
they
what.
give up
I'll tell you what.
Endure.
It is such an
Endure.
extreme example that I can't give a prescription for what other people should do.
What about if two people get married, they have a kid, and then the wife starts cheating? Do you think they should divorce?
Absolutely. Jesus himself said in cases of adultery, divorce is
So you think that
permissible.
divorce is worse than physical abuse?
Wow.
For the
Or
children.
cheating, sorry. You think that cheating is worse than physical abuse?
For the
Sorry.
children, yes.
He's on crack cocaine. I don't care what you say.
I think I'm not going to
Okay,
say
no,
this is worse.
divorce
I mean,
is worse for the children.
Yeah.
So he's going around explaining what he meant.
3 days later.
But I did say if there was one instance, because relationships, every relationship has fights. Every relationship has
What?
ups and downs. Anybody who
No.
says otherwise is a liar.
You can have disagreements. You can have back and forth. That's different than abuse. Don't try to correlate or mix the two together. That's a big difference. Come on now.
Okay? There's conflict in relationships. Period. Even the happiest couples in the world, they have conflict. And anybody who denies that, like I said, they're lying.
We're not talking
I
about
think you
punching
just
people.
substituted or slipped something in there very slickly as if it made your argument. Nobody said there aren't conflicts in a relationship.
That's not what's
Nobody said there aren't fights in a relationship. What people said is just because those things exist doesn't mean you put your hands on your partner during one.
Exactly.
Even once.
I don't want a traumatized woman in my life.
But you're a traumatized
I
woman.
don't want any history of trauma. I've dealt with those kind of fucking nutbags, and I don't ever want to deal with it ever again. I want to deal with a normal, mentally stable, healthy woman. So,
You think you're normal? Exactly.
in what sense?
Well, do you think you have healthy habits?
Yeah,
You do?
yeah.
Some motherfuckers must really hate you. Because after the last video, I just got people sending me everything. What did you say?
punched a Latina bitch in the face at Rakan. What's
Damn.
Rakan?
It's a club in Japan. He lives over there. He was talking shit to some guy. I guess people just linking the group chats. He was talking shit to some guy, and the guy said to him, well, at least I've never been arrested for glassing a bitch. And he's like, yo, why are you so sensitive? Are you going to leave next? So that's the MLD saying, like, why are you so sensitive? Why are you bringing that up? And the guy says, I'm not sensitive, just giving back some. And then MLD says, you act like that's the last bitch I'll smite on this planet.
Well, do you think you have healthy habits?
Yeah.
I think it's very bizarre that someone accuses or says that you bottled a woman in the face, and your response is, that didn't happen. Your response is, are you being sensitive right now? Why are you bringing this up? Then it makes me really think you did do that shit. Also, how would you kill this for being so disgusting? Personally, I think a good old-fashioned bludgeoning is the way to go.
Damn.
Big old monkey wrench to the head.
Gee,
and then he
bro.
posts her picture in the group chat.
You crazy.
I don't want a traumatized woman in my life.
Time to beat Aya. I'm gonna beat Aya for not being pretty enough.
What the fuck?
Have to beat Aya for letting this happen.
What the fuck?
And I want to deal with a normal, mentally stable, healthy woman.
I will glass a bitch with a champagne bottle for the honor of the group.
What the
If
fuck?
this happens, I'll have so much fucking money. I'm gonna glass like 17 bitches. Now, mind you, everything here I've been sent screen recordings
have a
for.
punching
and
bag
everything
there?
is like edited photo. So this is him contacting somebody else about the incident in Japan. He goes, and you can see the video as he's scrolling. He says, hey, sorry to bother you about this. This guy attacked an innocent girl in Roppongi, and the police found him. I heard he did something to you. Is that true? And the woman in question, who's Japanese, she goes, yes, true. What him make for the girl? Which I think is her broken English. Yeah, I know he's a real scumbag. Is it true that he punched you in your face? And she says, yes. What happened with the other girl? And he says, are you sure it's definitely this guy? Oh. To which she replies, yes.
Glass?
And so a couple other people from Japan contacted me.
That's crazy. I just want to go back. He grabbed the girl, and when she shoved him away, he threw a glass in her face, cutting her forehead. Bro, what the hell? It's a shame you didn't tell the police you could have got money from it. Fuck that. Get this crazy nigga behind bars. Really? You threw a glass in somebody's face because they didn't want you to grab them? What are you, the TSA? What the fuck? You crazy.
Yes. And so a couple other people from Japan contacted me and said that this guy was charged for bottling a woman in the face after she rejected him at a club.
Oh.
This went to court. He settled out of court. The woman has a scar across her face.
Jeez.
She didn't want to come forward and bring this up, nor does she want to be involved because she's been traumatized by the experience since. And people sent me messages to people that know her and people know of the incident, and all these are real. I made sure they sent me videos to show me they didn't fake no fucking DMs.
And that was like a club in Japan?
Yeah, and he's also being charged for somebody else in Japan. So why am I bringing all this up? Listen, group chats are your business. Personally, I've never been in a group chat where folks brag about punching women in the face or take joy in talking about how they want to kill somebody that they saw on Bumble because they're ugly. Okay?
The fuck?
But when this guy is getting on podcasts talking about he wants a well-adjusted, normal woman who's not traumatized, I'm like, brother, do you hear yourself? Do you see the stuff that you be writing? And then you want to be on a podcast telling women like, yo, listen, if you get hit once or more, endure.
Like it's basic training.
Telling you to endure.
I told you was putting
basic training, yo.
You about to cook.
He's like, what am I reading, bro?
Yo, look at the flick of the wrist. Look at the flick of the... Yo.
Again, maybe that's how you guys talk in your group chats. Maybe I'm unaware because I only spend my time in 2 group chats, and it must be PG-13 compared to some other people. I don't know. So you guys let me know in the comments. Is this normal for your group? Because if it is, then maybe I need to take all this shit. What?
It's not common for the group chat that I'm in. I'm only in one group chat, and we just talk shit at each other, play video games and set that up, and that's pretty much it. Maybe talk about political stuff, society stuff. But we ain't talking about punching a woman, glassing woman. I've never even heard the term glassing somebody. That just sounds traumatic, just violent and bloody, glassing somebody. I'm glad this woman got something, like she settled out of court, but still, she still got to live with that memory and that scar on her face for the rest of her life. That's crazy.
Is it? I don't know. That's why I'm actually asking. I really don't know.
No.
I do not know.
But considering he's been charged, he's being charged again. He's got enough cases against him. A lot of these dudes in these spaces want to always claim they're not anti-woman. But every time you peer behind the curtain, every time you look into it, every time you find out who they really are when the cameras aren't on, it just don't sound good. I mean, it don't sound good on camera, but it sounds even worse behind closed doors. Mm-hmm. Nobody online is perfect. Nobody online, but anybody who's trying to convince you to stay in a situation probably doesn't have your best interests in mind. Yeah. And I'll also say this. A lot of people from the last video we did on this topic were saying, oh, you took these guys out of context.
No, they didn't.
Go play the full clip.
Yeah, play the full. I literally watched like 10 minutes or like 5 minutes at least before he said this crazy shit just to make sure it wasn't out of context. He literally just jumped in and said it for like no reason. He didn't have to say endure being abused. This is not out of context. He said this stuff and he said it multiple times. They didn't clip anything out of context, at least in this case. I know people say that about them sometimes, especially when it comes like Fresh and Fit, maybe Pearly, maybe a few other red pill stuff, but nah, this guy, he said it. This is not a contest or anything at all. Another guest brought up a topic, and then it somehow, some way led to abuse because of Destiny's wife or girlfriend saying something about it, and he chose to give this answer. This is nothing out of context.
Go play the full clip. You know, a lot of these guys want to sit on a podcast, and the moment some woman says something radical like, I love to fleece men, they're quick. They get off their fucking seat to put her in her place. You want to rob men of their money through divorce? That's absolutely. Crazy. You should be calling these women out. Yeah. But then the dude sits beside you and says you should endure getting beaten by your husband or beaten by your wife in a marriage. And all of a sudden, these same people get real quiet. They don't got much.
They don't get quiet. They just say that, hey, no, man, you took him out of context. Yeah. Listen, nah, keep the same energy.
Or they'd be like, I don't know what to say. I wouldn't know how to advise somebody. I wouldn't know. Well, what if a woman cheats on her husband? Divorce. All of a sudden, you got plenty of prescriptions.
Yeah, right? That's true.
You think people can't work through some infidelity, but you think that people should stick around through physical beatings? I don't know. It's just bizarre to me when I hear something.
This is insane.
So sometimes it's not even what's said. Sometimes what's not said. Sometimes it's the change in your energy. You loud and proud when it comes to shaming single moms and all this other stuff. But we talk about folks beating on women or beating on dudes, all of a sudden you don't keep that same energy. That's when you look sus. Keep that same energy for everything else. If you care as much as you claim. That's all I'm saying.
Keep going in the relationship.
Keep going. You can't divorce, and that's not a real thing.
Even though it might be like physically abusive.
You got to endure. People are too...
You want to stick in the relationship?
People are just... look, people nowadays are just...
For anyone that might be in that situation, what would you recommend?
Endure.
I'll tell you what. It is such an extreme example that I can't give a prescription for what other people should do.
What about if
3 days later?
Because I guess what they're trying to say is like if a man is continuously beating a woman in a relationship. We're talking about
physical abuse, yeah.
Right. So they're trying to say that I'm saying that if a man is continuously beating a woman in a relationship, that he and
she
her should stay and endure the thing. That's not what I said at all. But I did say if there was one instance.
That's what you said. And Destiny's wife asked twice.
You didn't say that at all. And we could play the tape back.
Play it.
I think sometimes people get on podcasts and start talking. And there's what they say in their head or what they think and feel, and then what they actually say outwardly. Okay? I think he's just doing some damage control now, because I think he thinks his take is better, where it's like, if you get hit once, then, you can work things out. I'll be honest with you.
Work things out.
I think once is too many times.
Yeah, I agree. Don't take that chance with your life.
Go on. You cooking right now.
Things can get heated. Words can be said. You can even punch a wall. When you put your hands on the other person, you cross a...
I know, punch.
And this is man.
Punch a wall. It's crazy,
if a woman starts hitting you, I don't even feel that different.
God damn, did you put garlic in there?
Why is that?
You cooking.
Okay. I don't feel that different. I think that's a very strong line you're crossing.
Yeah, exactly.
And most of us who've never put our hands on a partner, okay, well, no, that's not a line I've been in a lot of arguments. Punching my girls never come up.
Yeah, exactly.
But maybe I don't have the experience, so that's why I'm turning to you.
No. Honestly, me personally, you shouldn't even be screaming, like yelling at your girlfriend or wife. If y'all have no argument, y'all should be trying to have a civil, calm discussion. If you can't do it in the moment, just walk away. Don't do nothing, don't say nothing fucked up or crazy that may permanently damage your relationship. When emotions are high, and in certain situations, maybe alcohol or something else is involved, or jealousy or anything else is involved, emotions running out high, and you're not thinking clearly, you're gonna do something crazy. Just walk away. Wait till the morning, or even wait 15 minutes. I don't care what you gotta do, but for the sake of yourself, your partner, and your relationship, don't put your hands on each other. That is a line that you can't come back from, in my opinion.
As a matter of fact, there's something that I told her when we was kids, and I told her, never scream at me.
Exactly. See? That's why I like preach.
You need some time to reflect, to calm your spirits down.
Don't scream at me.
Because of something that I did, please do so. If I ask you, there's something wrong, and I see there's something wrong, don't tell me, no, there's nothing.
Yeah.
Tell me I want to talk about it now, and we'll talk about it later. So we can calm ourselves down. Because once the screaming, the insults, we're not insulting people. Mm-hmm. That's me. Some of y'all motherfuckers roll like that. I don't even roll like that with my friends.
Yeah, for real.
I will not insult you, even insult you. Some shit that he's gonna do.
We'll tell a joke, but there's a line you don't cross.
That's gonna piss him off. I don't assume that it comes from a place of malice, or else we have a bigger problem. You understand what I'm saying? All that to say, the screaming, the calling names, those are steps before the hitting.
Mm-hmm.
You don't go from this to to a hit.
Yeah.
Shit escalated. That's just me. And I said that when I was 16 to my girl. Maybe it's because of what I saw, what I saw and what I was raised with my parents. They had arguments. And at some point I remember that it would start to yell a bit much, but I was so not used to that I got downstairs and I was like, yo, like, are you guys separating and stuff like that? Mm-hmm. And they were like, they realized, and they said, no, we're just talking, but it's okay, we're good. Went back upstairs and they understood that they had to lower the thing a bit because, okay, now there's all that to say. Maybe it's because of how I was raised. And yes, that's a privilege. But the screaming, the name calling, even before it hit, that's a no. That's a no.
I agree.
Don't call me names because I will say stuff that I will not regret. Mm-hmm. And once you pass and once you say certain things, it's hard for me to turn back.
Yeah.
The punching one time? No, it's because there's other steps that was crossed before that.
Anything else you want to say?
Nah, bro.
All right, let us know what you guys think in the comments below.
That's a cook. Dinner's ready.
But isn't that what?
It's super wild.
When I was reading that shit, I was like, bro, am I bugging? This shit weird, right?
It's weird. It's weird. You look super sus. But not only that, like you said, is the charging after that as well. So you show disregard in your comment in your locker room talk.
Yeah.
But then you got disregard for women and being charged for disregard for women.
No.
So it's like, it's not just one incident. It's not just one thing.
Yeah.
It's the repeated behavior that happens, and you start to connect the dot. You're like, that's fucking weird.
Yeah.
You're a weirdo. If it was just one thing where you just say some stupid shit once, that would be one thing.
I'll be honest with you. If people leave my group chats, you would be super disappointed.
Yeah.
I think I need to get a little bit more problematic just to keep up.
We're good. We're good.
Because I ain't see. I mean,
we're good.
I need to step my game up because this shit trash.
No, there's no.
Step your game up. That's crazy.
Keep it trash.
I don't know, like, for my understanding and my use of group chats, we just talk shit and make fun of each other in like in a good way because we that close, and we like link up for events, hopping on the game, stuff like that. We don't brag about beating women or glassing women, all these terms that I don't know where they're from. And I agree with Auburn Preach completely on this one. And especially what Preach said, like, there is a build up before it gets to that point, because I don't know, if you get together, I assume you love each other and you care about each other. So it must slowly degrade to a point where you feel like, fuck this person, I don't even want to have a conversation, I just want to release my anger on them. So you must be angry about something, and it must be something they did, conversations, insults, this, that, and the other. Either way, I don't think you should hit your partner. If it's really that bad, just separate. You can find somebody better, and you can make yourself better. That way you can learn from your mistakes. Excuse me. Another thing is that when this stuff do happen, or you do decide to separate, I think it's important to look in the mirror and see what you did wrong too. Because I'm not saying in the case of like a victim of abuse, but just separated from any relationship. Things didn't work out not because the person did all this stuff wrong and you was perfect. Oftentimes you did some stuff wrong too, because you're human just like everybody else. So it's important not to put yourself on a pedestal, and also important to control your emotions, man or woman. Both of us can do mess up stuff when our mouth and mind is out of control. So I think it's just important to keep that in mind. I'm not a fan of any partner, man or woman, being on the other, because it's just not right. If you care about each other, don't do it. If you have children together, you shouldn't do it times 1,000, because you're not just harming each other, you're harming the child. If you scream and fight with one another, either y'all need to get some counseling, y'all need to settle down, or y'all need to separate before it escalates into something further, like putting your hands on each other, or just flat out hating each other, and you just together because you're afraid of being alone or something. I don't know. I don't know your personal life story, but either way, I just want you to make good decisions so you don't mess up your life. I'm not perfect. Nobody's perfect. And I think every single day we're trying to learn more, gain more wisdom. And if we self-analyze and self-reflect on our actions and thoughts, I think we could do a lot better in the world. But that's just me. I'm not some guru, philosopher. I don't got the keys to life or anything like that. I just take it a day at a time and try to use my experiences, what I see in the world, and what makes sense to me. Sometimes I might not always be right or be true, but I'm always try my best. I think that's what we can all do. And when you try to put your hand on your partner, or you actually do put your hands on your partner, you're not doing your best. You're not trying your best. You're not trying to control yourself. You're giving in to that hatred that you have for this moment or your partner. And if that's the case, just walk away. You're better than that, but you just don't see it because you're clouded by your emotions and your attachment to, I don't know, this person and the relationship I guess you used to have, or the relationship you think you could have if they just listened to you and did what you said. I don't think it's worth it, especially going to jail or getting beat. But that's just me. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. I'm gonna link my clip and the whole I think 20, 30-second, 30-minute clip I did reacting to the whatever podcast where this guy says this type of stuff, so you can see it's not out of context. Let me know what you think down below. It's your boy Logos, and I'll see you next time. Peace.